This is Dr. Arpana Chaturvedi from the Department of Information Technology. The subject which I am taking is Artificial Intelligence, and in this we will today talk about predicate logic. With predicate logic, we simply understand first of all why predicate logic is required and how it can be represented. What are the different symbols which are used to represent a statement in the form of predicate logic. So basically, as we already studied propositional logic, we have seen that how to represent the statements using propositional logic. We learned about different symbols, we learned about different laws. But unfortunately, we have seen that in propositional logic, we can only represent the facts which are either true or false. Propositional logic is not at all sufficient to represent the complex sentence or natural language statements, first of all. Second limitation is its expressive power. It is not capable enough to represent the statements which are having some quantity in them. Like if we talk about the statement like some humans are intelligent, or if we talk about specific one like Sachin likes cricket, or we say that all human beings like coffee. So where the quantity is over there like some or all or any particular quantity of a whole universe, then we are not having any symbol to represent in propositional logic. That is why we require a first order logic, that is predicate logic. First order logic or predicate logic is a way of knowledge representation in artificial intelligence, which is basically known as the extension to propositional logic only. Whatever we have learned in propositional logic will be using those all laws and those all ways along with the quantification symbols. So FOL is basically sufficiently expressive to represent the natural language statements also. It is known as predicate logic or FOPL, first order predicate logic. First order logic is powerful language that develops information about the objects in a much more easier way and can also express a relationship between two objects or more than two objects. With the help of FOPL, we can represent easily the complex sentences as well. Definitely here also we will be using logical connectives to represent the complex sentences. First order logic does not only assume that the world contains facts, it also talk about that how much portion of a world we are talking about, then with respect to what part of a universe. So in this definitely we will be using objects as earlier we were using A, B, people, colors, etc. Now here also we will be using relations like it is unary relation, one-to-one relation, one-to-many or many-to-one relation, which kind of relations are over there within the object. Then definitely functions will also be over there, like Ram is the father of Sohan, yeah, Amit is a best friend of Sita. In this way we will be seeing how to represent the relations also. Another thing that in a FOPL, the two most important aspects are syntax and semantics. Syntax of FOPL is collection of so many number of symbols, logical expressions and connectives. So what are those basic elements using which we can represent FOPL? First is constant, like I know I'm talking about what? 13 is a prime number, so 13 is a constant. John is an intelligent boy, so John is a constant. Sita lives in Mumbai, so I'm talking about a constant. Variables where I don't know, I'm talking about whom. So it can be any boy, it can be any man, it can be any place, it can be any number. So that is variable. We will be using predicates like brother, father, Amit is the brother of Sohan, Manju is mother of Sita and so on. Some functions like finding square root of, finding sum of, finding standard deviation of, that is function. Some connectives we will be using, that is and, or, not, implies and bidirectional connective. These all things we have already used in propositional logic also. Equality symbol we will be using. The newly introduced symbols are quantifiers, where this is for all, which represent the entire universe, and this is there exists, which represent a part of a universe. So these are the symbols which are to be used whenever we are converting a sentence into a predicate logic. We have to follow proper syntax as well as semantics. It should be meaningful. As earlier seen, sentences are of two types. One is atomic, another is compound or complex. Atomic sentences are basically a basic sentence, fundamental sentences. These are formed from a predicate symbol followed by a parenthesis, like predicate symbol, brother, and the symbols. Sequence of terms, like Ravi and Ajay are brothers. So brother is a predicate. Who are brother? Ravi and Ajay. So this is how we represent the atomic sentence. So apart from this, if we talk about compound sentence, then we have to be very much careful. Complex sentences are made up of one or more than one atomic sentences. We connect atomic sentences using connectives, and these are divided into two parts. One is subject, about which I am talking, and second is predicate, which tells the relationship between the objects, that how two atomic sentences are going to get bounded with each other. Like if we say x is an integer, then it consists of two parts. One is x, this is subject, and second is what is x? X is a integer. So the predicate is integer, and subject is x. So this is a type of complex sentence. We'll see how to represent these all sentences in FOPL. Now the two newly introduced quantifiers are universal quantifier and existential quantifier. Quantifier basically tells about the quantification, tells about that which amount of quantity I am talking about from the universe. So when I am talking about whole, like for all, everyone, everything, we have to use universal quantifier. Whereas when we are talking about some, few, at least, then we will be talking about then we can represent that using existential quantifier. One by one we will see over here. Like here, universal quantifier is a symbol of logical represent which specifies that the statement within its range is true for everything which is lying within that particular universe. So universal quantifier is always represented by this symbol, and it resembles as inverted of A, like we write A in this way. Invert of A is a symbol of universal quantifier. Like if we have to write for all x, how I'll write for all within bracket x. For each x is also same, for every x is also same. All men drink coffee. So how what you can say? For all x, if x is a min, then it implies that drink x comma coffee. So this is how we'll be representing. We'll see more concepts and more examples in detail in coming slides. Like over here, we can easily see we are saying all men drink coffee. So all men means that all men means x1 also drink coffee, x2 also drink coffee, everyone is drinking, whatever, whosoever is lying in this universe, all are drinking coffee. So how we are writing for all x is a men. I am talking about what x should be, it should be a men. Then definitely x drinks coffee. So this is how we represent. Now comes existential quantifier. These are the type of quantifier which express a part of some part of our entire universe. Like it is true for a few things, for at least some instances, or for something. The symbol which we used is this, or this inverted E. When it is used with the predicate variable, it is called as existential quantifier. Now, how we represent? There exists a or there exists some x or at least one x. So this is how we represent. Fine. Now here, now say, let's say we are saying some boys are intelligent. Some boys means x1 is intelligent or x2 is intelligent, or like there. I'm not saying who, all the boys which are in the class. I'm saying some boys. Some boys can be x1 or x2 or x3 or some. So what we'll say, there exists some boys x such that if x is a boy, then it will be, then definitely that boy will be intelligent. When we represent, we have to use AND logical connective. Whereas here we are representing or, either x1 is intelligent or x2 is intelligent or x3 is intelligent. But when we know that x is a boy, then definitely there exists some boy who are intelligent. I am talking about those boys who are intelligent. Now, here are certain properties. In universal quantifier, we can write for all x, for all y, or for all y and for x. Both are one and the same thing. Similarly, in case of existential quantifier, if I write there exists x, there exists y, or if I write there exists y, there exists x, both are same. Whereas, if we say there exists x for all y, it will never be similar to for all y there exists x. We have to be very much careful about these all things. Some of the example of quantifier: all birds fly. So how we'll write? We write fly bird. But how we'll represent all? To represent all, we'll say for all x, if x is a bird, then it implies that x flies. Fine. Similarly, we see every man respect his parents. So we have what is the predicate? Predicate is respect. Who is respecting? X is respecting Y. So if X is a man, Y is a parent, then man respect his parents. How will write? For all X, if X is a man, then definitely X respect his parents. So this is how we write. More examples. Like over here, we see some boys play cricket. Some boys. The predicate is play. X play Y. Where X is boy, Y is a game. Now how will write? If there exists X such that X is a boy, then X play which game? Cricket. This is how we mention. Similarly, not all students like both maths and science. So we are talking about liking. The predicate is like. And what all? X likes Y subject. This X will be a student and Y can be either mathematics as well as science. So how we'll write? First of all, we'll not consider not. We will say for all X, if X is a student, then it implies that X like mathematics and, because we are saying both, and X like science. Student like both maths and science. That's why we are using and symbol. Now we have to negate it. So simply we'll be using negation symbol in the beginning. Now more example. We'll see. Only one student failed in maths. Our predicate is failed. So X is failed in Y, where X is a student and Y is a subject, that is mathematics. So how we'll write? There exists X such that if X is a student, it implies that X is failed in maths. And for all Y, because we are talking about those students who failed in maths, so, but there are so many number of students, so we should mention this thing. And for all Y, if X is not equals to Y, then definitely student Y is not failed in maths, has not failed in maths, because there are so many number of students. We are talking about only those students who are X and they are failed in mathematics, but I am not talking about those students who are not X, because they are not failed in mathematics, they have passed the mathematics exam. So this is how we represent. What we are doing, just look at again. what we are doing, we are saying there exists X such that if X is a student, then X is failed in mathematics, and for all Y, if X is not equals to Y, then definitely if Y is a student, then here it will be Y. Here it will be Y. Then Y has not failed in mathematics. Now we'll see some more example. So I have already explained many examples. Here I am talking about variables. Variables are of two types. One is free variable, another is bound variable. What is free variable? Suppose there exists a predicate clause in such a way that for all x there exists y in such a way that for predicate p, x comma y comma z are having some relationship. So here we are saying for all x there exists some y, but we are not bounding this z variable. So this z variable over here is a free variable. It can be anything with respect to the topic or domain I am talking about. Whereas if we see over here bound variable, what we are saying, it is within the scope. It is bounded with another variable. If one variable changes, another variable changes. So for all x, if x is a and y is b, then definitely x and y are bounded with each other, because we are saying for all x, x is a and y is b. So if x is a, then definitely y has to be b. So here x and y are bounded with each other. So this is what all about the introduction to predicate clause. In coming lectures we will see more about predicate clause. Thanks. Have a nice day. Thank you.